everybody, and welcome in to Blue Jays Today, folks, where tonight the Toronto Blue Jays are starting a series against the Seattle Mariners. This is going to be one of those ones where, like, if you can, and I guess when we look back at this, if we look back at this series, and if we see the Toronto Blue Jays offense come to life and actually hit these guys,
oh, they're legit.
Wu, Gilbert, Castillo. Like, that's one of those boxes that you check off and you go, okay, we proved it. We proved it right here. So quite the litmus test the Toronto Blue Jays offense is going to be having this evening. We're going to be talking about that. We're also going to be talking about the recent move that they made, demoting Davis Schneider, obviously fan favorite among a lot of individuals. However, I do think that a lot of people would agree that maybe a little time away from the bright lights is warranted for him. We are going to discuss that, what it might mean for him, when and if we're going to see him again, as well as a bunch of other stuff going on right now with the state of the team. And to help us out with all of that, we got a very special guest, everybody. Welcome in to JD coming in. What's up, bro? Happy to have you on here.
Boys, it's great to have you. Just JD? I don't get last name treatment? I'm
sorry,
JD
Bunkis. Yeah. JD Bunkis from the JD Bunkis podcast, everybody. Is that good enough?
Yeah, that's well, I just don't think people know who I am.
Well, if you do know JD, I'm sure there's people out there who do. JD Bunkis from the JD Bunkis podcast,
See,
you know,
the
and
reason,
of course, host of Leafs Talk.
Yes,
there you go.
Yeah, the reason I did that, man, is like growing up as a kid, I always used to think that like people who had names like that, like AJ or JD or something, I was like, that's fucking cool. You know,
Yeah.
I'm Nick, but you're JD. You know,
Yeah.
So, I don't know. There's an aura to it.
Hey, you know what? If it makes you feel better, right here in the chat, Carter says JD is goated. So there you go.
There we go, Carter. I love you, Carter. I'll tell you this it sucks because like I'd love to have that. I'd love to have the aura, but it's like Josh Donaldson existed, and I have just no shot at ever being the JD.
That's tough, man. That is tough.
The other JD. You could be
it's like, damn it. Like you can't really compete with takes versus a guy who won MVP and gave us some of the happiest memories we have of his fan base, especially for younger fans.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
Well, we are still very happy to have the Walmart version of JD joining us.
Yeah, there we go.
Today.
Mass produced.
Yeah. Let's kick things off, man, by just getting your 2 cents on the whole move that happened yesterday. Davis Schneider getting sent down to Buffalo. I believe he only had 15 at bats, up here this season, anyways. And in that period of time, obviously very small sample size, but wasn't really looking like the Davis Schneider that all of us had hoped that he may, right? In that 15 at-bats, I think he only had 1 hit. So again, like just not a great sample size at all, and probably the right decision for him to go and maybe figure some stuff out in AAA. What are your thoughts on this whole situation?
He stunk. Goodbye. They're trying to win baseball games, and this season is all about trying to compete for the division. And Davis Schneider was not helping whatsoever. So I have zero issue with it. I'll tell you right now, I have this feeling of whenever I see somebody using their torpedo bat, I'm like, oh, you suck if you're not on the Yankees because you're desperately trying to find something that works for you. And when I saw Davis with the torpedo bat, I went, oh, God, no, not you, Davis. He's a fan favorite. He came up and blew the doors off of expectations. But when you talk to people privately about what they thought about Davis Schneider, it was always, man, too many holes in the swing, not great plate appearances, not sustainable at the major league level. And pretty much since that start, that's kind of been the case. I was hopeful for Davis, and I'm not writing off his career. I'm not as down on him as some of the other people in this market seem to be, or other observers of this team that like really don't believe in him. But yeah, I'm pretty disappointed by the start. He's supposed to provide pop for an offense that desperately needs it, and he's an easy out.
And it's funny. And what's funny is like nowadays that we have the opposite problem. We have too many lefties, and we actually need a right-hander off the bench. And I straight up think, well, Dalton Varsho is part of it, but he made the team because there was an open spot and he was a righty, and they kind of hoped that would work. But you're right. I mean, the issue is so clear. He just can't hit a fastball.
Well, and
you can't have a major league career if you can't hit a fastball.
And also, too, I mean, like, we shouldn't know that. Like, the fact that that's just common knowledge to everyone. Like, everyone knows what the issue is with him, and it's been the issue. And the fact that it's, like, so readily available, not like, I shouldn't know what your problem is. You know what I mean? Because if I know what your problem is, I promise you that, fucking Logan Gilbert is going to know what your problem is.
How many strikeouts in those 15 plate appearances?
Sorry, say that again, man.
How many strikeouts in those 15 PAs? Well, it was probably 15 at-bats. How many plate appearances? But it's like, yeah, I felt like he was an easy out in the lineup. And with this team, with a bunch of guys starting hot, like the start that Miles Straw got off to, it was clear and obvious, hey, you're going to be gone. And yeah, the outfield feels like it actually has some depth. To me, Rodon has very much looked the part. I don't think that the numbers are as reflective as how good some of the ABs look. I feel a lot of confidence in him. George Springer has started red hot. So outside of the injuries, you want him in the lineup as much as possible right now. Varsho is going to come back and give you some pop from the left side and also plus defense. And right now, when I'm looking at this team, I'm saying, all right, when you have guys on the bench, what do you do for me? And if Davis Schneider is your lefty power bat, that's a problem. So, and if you're not doing that, then you're not on the roster. I'd rather have Miles Straw, who can come in as a defensive replacement and who can run the base pass, who can do kind of like the smart baseball things right now with his team. Do I think Davis has zero shot at getting back here? No, but yeah. And I will admit too, I actually was, I don't want to say surprised because that sounds like way over the top. I thought that he was very much one of the bubble dudes.
Right.
I'm surprised if Will Wagner's next for kind of the same reasons. It's like, hey, you stink playing third base. You made one beautiful play in the Red Sox series that got me all ginned up. Then it's like yips with the throws, no plays with the gloves. And he doesn't look like a third baseman to me, who is also at the plate and is an out machine. And
right.
So what's the year about? Is it about
right? Well, you're hoping that Will Wagner's got a bat, like he's got something there. He can drive in some runs the middle order. Like that's kind of the expectation, right?
You're hoping that he has the bat, and I think that he is going to get on base because again, he is a good selective hitter with just like a swing that gets through the zone really quick, and he's able to get the bat to the ball. But he's another guy that doesn't hit for power. And for him, if you can't play him in the field, like you really want him as your DH. And are you going to play him as your DH if you've got Rodon, you've got Varsho, and you've got Springer playing in the outfield, and all of a sudden Santander kicks over to DH? Like, I think that you're probably better served having him develop in Buffalo and say, hey man, get some reps at third base where you can probably help this team in the future and see what you can get from the Barger Clement thing if it doesn't go long. Like what I think is interesting about this move, if there's anything to kind of like glean from it, is sort of what I'm saying about what the perception is of this season is I don't really give a shit about trying to develop guys at the major league level right now. Like what I want to see is the Blue Jays win baseball games. You signed Vladimir Guerrero Jr. $500 million contract. You brought in Anthony Santander. You took a flyer on Max Scherzer, which, but it's like, you paid guys. We
still love it,
Sure. I mean, I don't love
$15.5 million aura contract.
Yeah, I don't really love watching Nick Pivetta dominate every night, knowing that the Blue Jays could have had the Canadian guy that's absolutely shoving as their fifth starter instead of Max Scherzer with no thumb. But yeah, that's whatever.
That's fair. Yeah.
It's early days, but either way, yeah, aura comes with like it's not worthless. Max Scherzer.
No, there's value.
Those, what was it, 3 innings of Max Scherzer?
Those 3 innings, though, man, we were hyped.
I liked watching those 3 innings, man.
Yeah.
Listen, JD, all the stuff that you're saying right now sounds like the opinions of somebody who's bought in on this team, not rebuilding, not retooling, but actually trying to compete right now. And walking into the season, like a month ago, a lot of people, and I will, oust myself right here. I was like, fuck, like, I want us to be good, but I just don't know if I believe in it.
Yep.
Are you believing in this team, in this roster right now? And I know it's very early still, but they're showing some promising signs. Are you believing in the team that's on the field today?
So here's what I believe in. Are they an elite baseball team? No. Do I think that all of a sudden they're going to be some amazing home run hitting team? Fuck no. Like,
yeah, I mean, that's pretty obvious.
They are going to scratch and claw for runs. Do I think that Tyler Heineman, like a career 500 OPS guy, is suddenly going to turn into a tough out for the entire season? Probably not.
What about Miles Straw though?
Listen,
370, running the bases like a bat out of hell. Come on, man.
Yeah, like I never OPS 700, so don't think he's going to do that this season. But I do think that he can be a useful bench piece on this team. What I like is that the rest of the division, nobody's special. I watch a ton of baseball. Okay, like I gamble on it and I love it. And this is my favorite time of year where I check in on every single team. I bet you, I'd be I'd be hard pressed to believe that there's anybody in this country that watches as much out of market baseball as I do. And when I'm watching these teams, I'm seeing the Yankees be grateful that they got Clark Schmidt back into the rotation. You know what he did yesterday? He got fucking shelled. He got chased from the game. And you know who they brought in? Ryan Yarbrough, who immediately got taken yard. I think he's given up 6 home runs already over his brief stint as a New York Yankee. You know why? Because he throws 70 miles per hour. And when guys square it up, they put it on the fucking moon. And you should never cry about losing Ryan Yarbrough.
You didn't cry when we didn't sign back Ryan Yarbrough. We had Dick Lovelady.
Oh, there were some crying. And I will say that Lovelady over Yarbrough is still a stupid decision.
Yeah, I think we can all agree that it was, pick the 2 poisons.
But like you go around the division right now and you watch these games and it's like, there's nobody special, man. The Yankees, you feel the loss of Juan Soto. They got Cody Bellinger out there. He's OPSing like nothing. His batting average is under 200 and he looks stoned in the outfield every single game. Like, I'm not scared of Cody Bellinger and the Yankees. And like Jazz Chisholm got off to this red hot start with the torpedo bat. Guess what he's turning back into? Jazz Chisholm. Like they're the Aaron Judge team. Like,
it's funny. I wonder if pitchers, I haven't been following the Yankees too heavily, like at bat per at bat, but I wonder if they're starting to counter the torpedo.
What?
What's that, JD? What did you say?
They threw Cookie Carrasco out in 2025 to pitch in a major league game as a starting pitcher.
Fair enough.
Okay, yeah, that is definitely you're right. There are point being what you're trying to say. There are questions around the AL East, which is, you know what, I will agree with you on that. I'm looking at it right now, and you know what, there are some teams in here that I expected to be doing a lot better than they are. However, I am going to push back a little bit here and saying, I mean, a squad like the Boston Red Sox, I anticipate that they are not a 500 team. They're 500 right now. I think that they're going to be better. I think that they are going to get better as the season goes on. Baltimore, I mean, like the lineup is definitely there. I don't know if they're going to be able to weather the storm of the pitching staff.
Yeah, I think their pitching staff is
But I do still believe that the Red Sox are going to be a solid baseball team. And even though, fine, Cody Bellinger smokes a lot of weed and Cookie Carrasco is, obviously probably should be a retiree at this point.
100%.
I still believe that New York is going to find a way here. Where do you see us kind of fitting into this division right now? Like, are we, I certainly don't think we're the bottom feeder that a lot of people thought that we were walking into the season. But I mean, are you going to come out here and make an argument that we're right there close to the top of these guys? I don't know if I can agree with you on that.
No, see, that's where I feel. Okay. Like, again, it's very early days. So I always say this on my show that when you give baseball opinions, you end up looking like an asshole because baseball is the sport of the worst one to have opinions on, because as soon as you do one, it's like sample size and you get sampled out. And it's such a long season that eventually it ends up coming and biting you in the ass. But what I'm trying to say is not that I don't think that the Red Sox will be better, or that the Yankees will get hot and have a good run of play, or that, the Rays can't string a bit together in their, again, little joke ballpark that they have to play in, or that the Orioles bats aren't going to get extremely hot. But when I look at all those teams, and I've watched, again, every single one of them multiple times. Yesterday it was Yankees Rays, so I got to see both. I don't see a team that I look at and go, there's just no way the Jays can hang with them in the standings at any point this year. Do I think that some of them are stronger in a lot of areas? Like when you talked about the Red Sox there, man, like Garrett Crochet, amazing, great pitcher, right? So let's go through some of the rest of the guys. Have you seen any of Tanner Houck this year?
I have him on my fantasy team, and I think he put up a negative 10 points for me last outing. So I am very familiar with Tanner fucking Houck. Thank you very much.
He's getting lit, and not only is he getting lit, he's doing the things when he's getting lit of staring down as his fielders. Like he's already got bad vibes all over him. Pitts, like you big Pitts guy, like it's just they're not deep with their starting rotation. You know what the Blue Jays have? They have 4 starters who post. These guys play baseball games. And it's kind of like, if you can get anything out of this Easton, Lucas, whatever, or Scherzer does return, although I'm not really too high on the idea that Scherzer is going to get back. Like, honestly, I think that those 3 innings might be all we get. When you're 40 years old and you're going to the thumb specialist for the second time, it's kind of spooky. But at some point this year, I'm thinking maybe Alek Manoah can get back. Maybe you get some from him. Maybe you go in the deadline, you trade for somebody. Like, you just got to survive. Blue Jays have 4 starting pitchers. They got the best rotation in the American League so far. And I don't think that is like some crazy fluke. Do they have a stud of the ilk of the top end of the rotation that the Yankees and the Red Sox have? No, I don't think they do. I don't think that Gausman is that guy anymore, even though he's been great. And I certainly don't think Chris Bassitt's going to finish the season as the best ERA in the American League, even though that curveball is curveballing.
It's been breaking a lot more.
It sure looks pretty nasty. So I'm buying the Bassitt stuff, but I just look at the Blue Jays starting pitching and say, this to me feels as sustainable as anything in the American League. Like you can go around and tell me about like Aaron Judge in the middle of the Yankees lineup without Juan Soto. Okay. Like again, like Bellinger's hitting right there. They got Volpe back. It's like Paul Goldschmidt, 100 years old, is in their lineup as a like integral bat. It's not the same Yankees as they were. They don't have Garrett Cole. They don't have back-to-back guys, which was the plan for their rotation to go, hey, we're getting rid of who is the guy that they sent to Milwaukee that stunk for them in the postseason. I'm blanking. Anyway.
Nestor Cortez.
Yeah, Nestor Cortez. They went like, yeah, we're getting Nestor Cortez out of here and we're getting Fried. And you went, damn, that's a pretty good upgrade. Except for now they don't have one of the 2 guys and he's worse than Garrett Cole. Like, or at least if you're squinting, he's as good as he is. Look at Tampa's rotation. It's not the Tampa rotations of old. They haven't found a billion guys that are great. They got some good guys. Like their starting rotation's good, but I would say that the Blue Jays is equally good, if not better. And like the big thing that I feel a lot of confidence in with this Jays team, like if we're starting to get into extrapolating this into why I like the team, is I thought that the back end of the bullpen still actually had questions. Hoffman never been a closer before, and he came in some big spots in the postseason and was not very good. And I was a little nervous because I'm like, does he have the guts to be a closer? Sure seems like he does. Yeah. Jimmy Garcia went to Seattle after the injury last year. And what did he do? He ate shit. He sucked. He was not the same guy.
All of a sudden, he was also hurt too, dealing with injury. So that could be a factor.
Yeah. But he showed up this season. He's pumping 98. He looks like an absolute stud.
Like he never left.
Yeah. Not a closer. But if you have Chad Green as like your 6'7" swingman guy, you're feeling great. I still think there's a lot of questions that happen with the lefty. Like, is Brandon Little going to be a great loogie? I don't know, but he's looked pretty good so far. You got this Yariel Rodriguez thing that's happening that looks awesome. You've got Nick Sandlin who can go against righties and lefties alike. And as a depth reliever, like the back end of the bullpen looks solid. And also the bridge to get there seems far more plausible than I expected it to be. And so if we're doing the like, what's changing my opinion about the potential ceiling of this team? Again, do not think that they are an elite team. Like, do not believe that if they were in the National League West, that they'd be like fighting for a spot with those guys. They'd be in the bottom. They'd be in the tank looking up at everybody else saying, season over, fellas. But in this American League, if they get this kind of starting pitching, if they get this kind of play from their bullpen, they are going to be in every single game. And that's how you can win with an offense that's all singles, just trying to scratch across 3 or 4 a game.
Yeah, well, I'm with you. And that's where I'm at too. Like Ross Atkins, and we're going to talk about him right before you go. Ross Atkins built this team off pitching and defense, and to his credit, it's working out so far. And I think this is what he envisioned: pitching, great pitching, reliable pitching that gets you through 162. Great defense that can help your pitching just boost up those stats. Those are stats that you don't see. With
defense that's going to get way better, by the way, when they get Dalton Varsho back.
Exactly, right? Exactly. And then just enough offense, Vladdy being Vladdy, Bo looking like Bo again, getting that power bat finally, and Anthony's out there. Now he's turning around in the last week. I think he's got like 3 doubles, 2 homers in the last week. He's looking good. This is what you envision. And that's good enough. You're right. With looking at the Yankees, looking at the Orioles, looking at the Red Sox, their rotations not looking good. That's good enough to get to the postseason and win. With that being said, I know we've talked about it in person, talked about Ross Atkins, talked about the front office. Conversations for a lot of people and opinions for a lot of people are starting to change to a brighter tone. Where are you at right now, JD, with the front office? What do you got to see from them this year to start getting a little bit of faith in your mind?
Like playoff wins. I don't really give a shit what they do in the regular season. And again, given like, I really don't want this to get confused. I keep trying to reiterate this point. I think that they are good enough in this division. And I'm mostly stoked on the idea with this team. And I was talking about this the other day on my show, that the vibes of this offseason were so low. And the vibes with this team from like the last year plus have been so awful that getting off to a good start was more important for this team and this fan base than just about any other. Because like, were you guys at the home opener?
We were live for it, but we got the vibes. We got the sense.
Lots of booze.
When Tyler O'Neill put that ball over the fence, what did it feel like in that building?
Season's over.
Yeah.
Season's over.
Vladdy's leaving. The future's fucked.
This is Price is Right. Is be like, and the number one answer is, it's like, season's over. You're right. That was the number one choice. It felt flat in there. And you saw that with a bit of the attendance numbers and just the overall feel of the fan base, which is like, people want to be right sometimes more than they would rather see like a good product. And people want to be able to say, like, I told you running back this front office was stupid. I told you that this team sucked. I told you that this team wasn't worth investing in. I hate this team, whatever. And then they come in and they start this season. And what, they're 3 games over 500 going into tonight?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And it's like, they're over a stretch that a lot of people looked at and said, boy, this could be really, really bad over the stretch. Exactly. So they started with a gauntlet and they've come not through the fire yet, but they've started to come out of it where it's like, damn, you didn't start this season behind the 8 ball and feeling like a garbage team that had no hope. There's a little bit of hope back. The premise that I always outlined for this team was you got to have your 3 studs be studs. And then once a month, you have to have a Lourdes Gurriel. And by that, I mean, one guy that is like Lourdes would be almost every single August where he would get red hot for a month and carry this team offensively. They got that from George Springer to start, right? He was being that guy. And it was like a little bit of Jimenez at the first outside of the beginning of the season. And we've seen that with a little bit of Straw and Heineman, a couple of guys at the bottom of the lineup. But can you get one guy a month that supports them with some offense? And when you get Varsho back, you get another dude who can do that. But when it comes to Ross Atkins, like, I think most people have started to accept that Shapiro Atkins are going to be separate, like, and that they kind of should be viewed a little separately, just given that the most optimistic you can be about everything that's happening with the Blue Jays this year is that they're spending the 5th most money in all of baseball. And when there's all these owners around baseball that are crying, like, look what the Pirates are doing. All of their ownership should be in jail.
Pirates are in shambles. I don't understand.
They should be in federal prison for what they are doing to that baseball team around Paul Skeens. Toronto, the one thing you can say is that they're splashing cash around. They're renovating the stadium and they've spent like tons of money on this baseball team. They just paid a player $500 million, something that's never been done with this franchise. That I'm giving Shapiro some credit for. And I actually don't mind that being around, given that whatever he seems to be saying to Rogers is working in terms of getting them to open up the pocketbooks and believe that this is like a really viable business that they should be investing in. It's working. Ross Atkins has done a piss poor job as the general manager of this baseball team. And Shapiro has done a piss poor job in having him hired through this stretch. This was supposed to be the most optimistic run of Blue Jays baseball in like, a decade. And we have not seen it. We haven't seen prospects get developed. There's no stud that's coming up that can immediately help. Part of the reason that they had to pay Vladimir Guerrero Jr. $500 million is because they had no one to replace him with.
Correct.
And they'd already struck out in free agency. And so it's like, hey, you've done well with some signings, like everybody has that's going to be around for this long, but you've done great with like things like pivoting off of Robbie Ray and going to Kevin Gausman, right? That had some people's eyebrows raised, but it ended up working out. You did a great job with the Bassitt signing. I don't think the Varsho trade was as bad as it looked in year 1, right? It's starting to look like maybe even the Blue Jays are going to be the winners of this long term, even though that first year really, really hurt. Ultimately, he has made some really quality moves, but this is a team that prided themselves on development and being able to supplement the talent with guys from the farm system. And they have not had even remotely close to a hit. The only guy that's pitched in a playoff series that they developed was Alek Manoah. And how do you feel about him? Like,
right. Where is he right now?
Yeah, exactly. And like, look at these guys, the young players that are coming up. Like, Alan Rodin's as old as Vladdy.
Yeah.
He's not some upstart high-end prospect. You're hoping that he's a major leaguer. And it's been way too many of these like Spencer Horowitz, Will Wagner, Alan Rodin type guys who can step into that, but are not high ceiling players. They have not hit on prospects whatsoever. They've lost a bunch of trades. And they've squandered an era where they had Vladdy and Bo on cheap contracts, and now Bo might still end up walking. And so Atkins' job as a whole does not change for me just because they signed Vladdy to a contract and they started the season hot. Like, this team needs to prove that they can win playoff games and make a run in the postseason under this general manager, because otherwise, like, I already don't think that he should have been running this operation. He should have been gone to me 2 seasons ago, and he's already gotten way too long of a runway. If I'm the Blue Jays and this guy doesn't win a playoff series, then he's gone. And I don't think anybody should be switching their opinion on them because of like an early start to the season. Period.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, listen, I just wanted to slowly transition a little bit because I was a lot, and ultimately it feels like the answer is we need to see some playoff wins.
Yeah.
Speaking of people doing a piss poor job, especially in the playoffs, though, Sunday, Maple Leafs, first round. Give us, I know that everyone, if you want to hear the detailed analysis, go check out JD Bunkis and, Leafs talk and everything like that. But give us the very Cole's Notes version of what we can expect here. I'm a bandwagoner, so I will oust myself there. I'm going to watch, but should I watch?
I think that people who hate bandwagoners are stupid. The more people, the merrier. Join the party. The party's always better when there's more people there.
Bro, for me, it's just like the Leafs. I know what's going to happen every single season. Get me to the dance.
Yeah, and maybe something different will happen this time. Maybe.
So this is the Cole's Note. Their experience in the postseason has to be an advantage, not a disadvantage. If it's an advantage, like they have learned from the past, then they should win this series, frankly, quite easily against an inexperienced Senators team that does not have nearly as much talent top to bottom. The only way that they lose this is if their inexperience is a disadvantage and the ghosts of their past haunt them, and it starts to show up in the little things in their game when they fall down a goal or whether they're trying to protect a lead or they fall down in the series. And if Toronto is able to put the psychological component aside and their star players can prove that they are in their prime, that the rest of the dynamics of the team with their good defense and their solid goaltending, those are all going to fall into place. It's the same thing as every year. It falls on the stars. There's no more growing up to do. The time is now. And if they go out and prove it, I think they're going to go on a long run.
So don't beat themselves.
Yeah. Well, here's the one thing. And again, I'm not too much of a hockey guy, but the one thing that scares me in the postseason, everyone talks about the physical aspect. Yep. I look over there at Brady Tkachuk and I'm like, damn. Is this guy going to be pushing Marner against the board, stopping this guy from entering the zone? Like, am I going to be seeing that all season? How is he going to beat him?
Well, I'll tell you this right now. You're probably, if you love the Toronto Maple Leafs, you're probably going to hate Brady Tkachuk. In 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now, you're probably going to be like, holy fuck, I hate that guy. And that's a good thing to have because caring about sports is awesome. So the fact that we're in a zone where people are really going to deeply care about a rivalry, that's what gives me the happiness. Part of the reason why I'm high on the Blue Jays is that it's like, we're having conversations like this. Like, are they maybe good? Like, should we care? Like, that's basically the question you guys are asking me is like, is it time to care? And I'm like, yeah, I care.
Well, I love it. Hey, we're all critical over here of the Jays, but overall, I mean, we're getting a sense from you. You just said it. Jays are a little bit of a wagon this year. Just a little bit,
Like I said,
April
Dodgers,
18th. Yeah.
Dodgers, Padres, Blue Jays. That's the way that it is.
Same tier. That's it. JD,
I love coming on, boys.
Thank you so much for coming on, my man. We really appreciate it. I know you were just running back from the studio, but it's been a pleasure, dude.
Yeah, I love it. Like I said, guys, keep up the great work. I love what you're doing.
Thanks
JD. A lot, man. Go Leafs, go, baby.
Go Leafs, go.
Everyone,
go Jays, too.
Go Jays, go as well. If you want to check out JD Bunkis and have a more detailed analysis of the Toronto Maple Leafs and their series up ahead, go check out Leafs Talk. Go check out everything he does. It is phenomenal. Dude, we will see you later. Let's continue breaking down the upcoming series for the Toronto Blue Jays. One thing that JD was bringing up quite often right there was the fact that this is a squad that will probably win, not necessarily by the home run ball a lot, but by pitching, defense, and stringing singles together.
Right.
Now, a lot of the times, okay, you're up against their fourth pitcher, their fifth pitcher. Maybe you can make that work. I find it hard to believe that we are going to be able to string a lot of singles together against the gauntlet of pitchers that we are going to be up against this weekend. So honestly, if you want to see like Ross Atkins' baby come to life and really show up, this is the weekend for pitching and defense.
Yeah.
So we're winning like 1-0 ball games.
And here's the thing. The scary part of Ross Atkins' baby could be the reason why, if we end up losing this weekend, would be the reason why we lose, because we need the offense this weekend to go and attack these hitters, or these pitchers, excuse me. We'll see if we can get it done. I want to show this right here. This is an article by Blue Jays Nations, our friends over there at TNN. Big shout out to them. This is the gauntlet we got going on here. First game, you're going to have Brian Wu. Brian Wu, man, this guy is a beast. Like, this guy is seriously becoming one of the better pitchers in baseball. And at a time, he was their 5th pitcher, and he might still be considered their 5th pitcher.
He's just like, he gets overshadowed because there's so many. They're just all so damn good over there in Seattle. Like, you're gonna forget about this guy, but you shouldn't, because he is phenomenal. He's got a 2.84 ERA to start. That is who we're going to be up against this evening tonight. It is going to be tough. Following that, you're going to have Luis Castillo, who is off to the slowest start, I think, in terms of the Mariners, rotation. Still doing pretty good, though, like all things considered. And also, too, he is Luis Castillo, and we have seen him being like just a phenomenal pitcher. And then on Sunday, like, this guy,
this is one of the best pitchers in baseball.
This is a top 5 pitcher in baseball for sure. Like, again, underrated. Nobody talks about him enough, but we should, because he has just been like the picture of consistency. And so far to start this season, like, no different. He has got a 2.38 ERA. Just phenomenal work so far. All the sabermetrics. All of them back them up, dude. So let's kick things off and just start with game 1 tonight. We are going to be live for it, everybody. It is an Apple TV game. So if you guys want to watch along with us, hop in, maybe have a couple bevies going. Watch as Bowden Francis takes on Mr. Brian Wu. Thoughts on tonight's game?
Yeah, pitching duel. I made a little Betway clip on it. It's going to be a very competitive battle. What excites me from the Blue Jays perspective is you got Bowden Francis, and now the ERA, it's inflated, 3.71. But what excites me the most is he's up against a Seattle Mariners offense. And that offense is not exciting. They're not good. They strike out a shitload. And you've got a guy in Bowden Francis who goes on a lot of no-no runs. I think twice this year he's carried a no-no into the 5th inning. I want to see that happen again. So I think he's going to dominate. Brian Wu, that's going to be a tough competition right there in the Toronto Blue Jays. Ooh, yeah, this is a coin flip, ladies and gentlemen.
This might be, like, again, if you're not somebody that enjoys pitching duels, maybe don't watch this weekend, because I genuinely believe, like, there might be under 10 runs total on the weekend. Like, quite literally, like, both teams I'm talking about. Like, there might not even be double-digit runs scored from, now until Sunday, just with all of the pitching that's going on. And then also factoring in as well, it's like, okay, like, we don't have necessarily Gausman and Bassitt going up this weekend, but it actually doesn't matter, because their offense is horrendous, other than, of course, Cal Raleigh, who I do want to bring up here. He is one of, maybe honestly, the most underrated player in all of baseball. We were talking to a Seattle fan literally last night at Baseball Town. I'd completely forgotten that this is a Platinum Glove winner. And then on top of all of that is just destroying the baseball at will right now.
Yeah, like, he's on fire right now. Right now their whole team they have a low batting average, so they're not going to get a lot of hits, but what they are going to get is the long ball. And Bowden, unfortunately, does give up a few long balls here and there. I think I saw a crazy stat. It's like 20-something% of his hits are home runs. Ever since he became, like, really good, like back in August, like a sample size of like 10 starts. It's crazy. So actually, with that being said, before we give our predictions, let's give a shout out to the sponsors video, because with that being said, I think I know who I'm going to ride.
Whoa, time for a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video. Hit your picks and knock it out of the park with Betway. Scan the QR code down below to join the action. Only available in Ontario. Must be 19 years of older to participate. Please play responsibly. Now, everyone, back to the content. Shout out to Betway, everybody, for being absolutely phenomenal. This one is actually really, really easy for me. I'm not taking the money line. I see the U, and I see 7.5, and I see double my money, and I go smash.
Yeah, I already took it as my Betway fee clip. I actually bumped it up. There's an alternate line of 8.5, just be safe. It's like 175. I'm like, I'll take that.
I don't like. No one's scoring.
No one's scoring runs.
No one's scoring runs. It's just not going to happen, man.
But with that being said, if I do have to predict a winner tonight, I do maybe give the edge to the Mariners. Now I'm thinking about it. Bowden Francis, it's going to be a battle, but Bowden Francis can give up some homers. Big dumper. I might pop one.
I genuinely don't think that you throw to Cal Raleigh at all.
I think you walk him. I'm serious.
Like, another smart bet, honestly, this weekend would be Cal Raleigh, like, at least one walk a game.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just like bet. Like, I just don't think, I see no reason for the Toronto Blue Jays to be actively throwing to him. He's a J killer. He has been knocking home runs at will recently. Like the rest of that lineup, I think that you can handle them with ease. Put them on first base. Do not worry about the rest of them.
With that being said, I'm thinking the Mariners win 3-1. It's going to be low scoring.
I could see that, man. I guess I'm just hopeful that recently, and this is something that we haven't brought up yet, but in the last 7 days, and again, it's 7 days, like, one good baseball game and all the numbers are going to be inflated. But in the last 7 games, the Toronto Blue Jays have 6 home runs. They have, a series of extra base hits as well. Santander's getting a couple doubles. We saw Bo on Wednesday. He got himself a nice double, right? Like a couple of the key guys here are getting extra base hits. That is what you're going to need to do if you want to score off of Brian Wu. It's got to be a double. It's got to be a blast. That's where we're at right now. I have faith that the offense is going to do at least something. I think Blue Jays win like 4-2.
Okay.
Tonight,
okay. Well, that'd be
still
good.
A low scoring one, but they do just enough to edge themselves across the finish line.
Okay. I like it. All right. Well, with that being said, let's move on to game number 2. So you got us winning. I got us losing. But in game 2, a little bit of a different matchup here. You got Luis Castillo taking the bump. Again, he's been kind of shaky to begin the year. 4.22 ERAs, lost 2 games. Jose Barrios, same thing. I'm actually making a video about Jose Barrios. La Maquina will be coming out tomorrow before his start, so make sure to check that out, guys. And after breaking it down, I realized something. All of these numbers are inflated because of that horrible start against the Orioles, and he hasn't had too many bad starts since then. Even though all the sabermetrics are really bad, he's actually still pitching kind of good, which is really weird. So with that being said, we're going to take advantage of Luis Castillo, and I think we're going to win this one right here.
Interesting. I say that we lose this one. So I say we win tonight, and then we lose the next one. I still believe in La Maquina, but I think that the same arguments that you're making right now for La Maquina probably can be made also for Luis Castillo.
I haven't done my work on Luis Castillo, so
but I mean,
fair.
Honestly, I look at these 2 guys, and I think that they're very the same, right? Like they're around the same age. They've been in the league for a long period of time. Feels like every year you know exactly what you're going to get. Maybe Luis Castillo's ceiling is a little bit higher than Jose Barrios. Yeah. But honestly, they're effectively the same pitcher in my opinion.
At this age, what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So I think that I'm going to give the slight edge to the Mariners in this one. I'm thinking to myself, I have an image in my mind. I can't get it in my mind right now, but it's Randy Rosarina, taking Barrios yard for a 3-run blast. And that's all the runs that come in that day.
Here's what I also learned. La Maquina, he's been great in every start that hasn't been against the Orioles. He had a 7-inning, 1 earned run against the Boston Red Sox. I think he had a 2 earned run, 5 2/3 against, I forget who it was. I think La Maquina against Seattle offense, to get right game, it's going to do some numbers.
Just taking a look right now. Yeah. I mean, small sample sizes for both of these guys. I mean, it doesn't look we're talking about 12 at bats here. So it's not that much, but obviously we don't have anyone that really does a whole lot of damage to Kirky in his 5 at bats. Yeah.
No, Kirk's going to be batting cleanup this game.
Batting cleanup on that guy. And then over there, I mean, maybe a little bit better, but again, not a huge sample size. So you can't pull too much from that.
No.
Either way, I think that we win game 1. I think that we lose game 2. You're saying the opposite.
I'm saying the opposite.
Game 3, though.
Is what we got. Where do I got here? It's Easton Lucas.
It's Easton Lucas against Logan Gilbert. I don't think we're going to get a fucking run on this guy, man.
And I love how our opinions switch so quickly after one bad start. We're like, that's Easton Lucas. I know. Yeah, you never know. Maybe Easton Lucas is a get right game. But again, how many times Easton Lucas going to beat the best of the best? He beat Mackenzie Gore. Who was he up against the other day? He was up against Garrett Crochet. He beat him. He gets another tough matchup.
For me, it's less about Easton Lucas, and it's more about the fact that in this game in particular, unless we blow their bullpen out of the water and they have no bullpen at all, in this game in particular, I just find it hard to believe that we're gonna score that many runs.
Hang on now. You got Guerrero, 13 at bats, 2 homers off Gilbert. Bichette's got a 250. Kirk batting 300. Springer batting 333 and 12 at bats.
I mean, that's nice, but like, is this a different version than Logan Gilbert than when we did that, right? Like,
I don't know. He was still elite back then.
He was elite last year for sure, but you know, like how many, like when did those hits come from is what I want to know. I just think that he's extremely locked in at this point.
Oh man.
I think if we win this game, Easton Lucas cannot give up more than like 1 earned run. Like seriously, like that's what it comes down to, because I don't see us getting more than 2 off of Logan Gilbert personally, and even that I'm like, okay, you did your job offense. So Easton Lucas would have to go like 5 or 6 with 1 earned run, and that is asking a lot.
He's done it twice. But for real, yeah, if I were to bet money, I would say that we'd lose this series. Unfortunate. Mariners starting to pick up some wins right now. They're 10-9. Unfortunate. Yeah, I think at the end of this series, we will have the exact same record. We'll both be 12-10. Does that make sense? Yeah.
We'll both are we saying that we lose this series?
That's
is that what we're saying? It's just like it's so hard to bet against the pitching right now. I know.
But the one saving grace is their offense.
Their offense is not good.
Although they do pop homers. That's the thing. You got a pitcher on Cal Raleigh right now.
Yeah, you walk Cal Raleigh, and then like you need some extra base hits of your own. It is quite literally where we're at right now, folks.
That's it, man.
We are going to be live this evening for Game 1. Hopefully, we pick up a win tonight, and obviously at that point, if you can pick up tonight's win, you're feeling a lot more confident about the series as a whole. So we hope to see all you guys there. But folks, please make sure to hit that like, smash the subscribe button. Talked about today. Go check out JD Bunkis. I'm sure many of you are already familiar with what it is that he does, but just like a phenomenal character right there and great analysis as well. And also very exciting too. Leafs playoffs this Sunday. I think I'm going to be tuning in.
I think I will be as well. Happy Easter Sunday, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, guys, go Jays, go.